All right, everybody, we are now live, I believe. So,
Are we really? Are
unfortunately,
you sure?
yeah, I'm pretty sure. So, we're gonna go ahead and restart these things here and do a proper intro. Proper intro. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of 4GQ TV. We're here live on this lovely Thursday day with Cerebral Paul and myself, and we had a big Xbox game showcase. It was pretty fantastic. Summer Games Fest was not as memorable. There was some neat
Just
stuff
so you
in
know,
there.
we are live on Echo because I'm getting it on YouTube. So hang on a second. so,
Oh,
so I definitely
nice.
know YouTube's live. So
Yes, way to go, YouTube.
all right, there we go.
And then I'm going to try and get us live on TikTok, and that may or may not work, but we'll see. But anyway, so Summer Games Fest wasn't as memorable. There was some good stuff in there that on Well Game, I really liked the graphics on that. Really excited. I'm gonna be honest, I am excited for that. So yeah, excited. Paul, welcome to the show. I know you're trying to get a little food in there because of all the technical difficulties. So how are you doing?
I am surviving. You know, I'm a survivor, as Reba McEntire would say. You know, and I'm also looking up the list for games from there. It is. So I have the list of all the stuff that they talked about this last week. So welcome to a marathon session of our show. We're going to be here and talk about every single game. No, just kidding.
Paul's going to talk about every single game that he loved.
Yeah, which actually there were quite a few that I'm excited for. So
Ninja Gaiden 4?
That's not one of them.
I knew it. I knew it.
Well, but no, we do. We have a lot to talk about because the Summer Games Fest and the Xbox Showcase that took place over last week. So let's go ahead and get the swing in here.
Yeah, let's get the swing in. Also, if you're watching the vertical stream, YouTube now has allowed me to have gifts on there, so you can, if you feel like donating a gift, it will definitely help out the channel and hopefully get us to more events. Anyway, let's get talking about the Xbox Showcase. It really opened up with a fantastic showing of Clockwork Revolution and Outer Worlds. So Outer Worlds 2 actually was first.
I'm going to say Outer Worlds 2 opened the show, according to my thing. But
no, you are correct, and I am wrong once again. But Outer Worlds 2 looks fantastic. I'm excited to play it. I like the first one a lot. I know some people are iffy on it, but that's my kind of game. Just like some people liked Recore, and I didn't. So I'm an Outer Worlds kind of fan. Paul, how about you?
Oh, absolutely. I love the first one. And the changes that they made. Because remember, they also highlighted it after the showcase. They actually had a thing just for it and Grounded 2. And they talked about the changes, the quality of life changes they did for Outer Worlds and things like that. Like you can, excuse me. Now with your shrink ray, you can shrink things down and they don't pop back up to large again. They stay shrunk and you can stomp on them. That alone was a selling point for me. Okay. And they've simplified some of the character creation stuff and development, which I like. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. There's not a lot more to add there, but I agree with you. From what we saw, I mean, Obsidian is really out there doing great things with all the games they're coming out with. They're keeping games on
three
consoles.
games in 1 year. 3 games in 1 year. That's just wild.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, they're really cooking. But then, I want to talk about Clockwork Revolution because that's a game that I thought initially I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought it was going to be terrible. Like I thought, when I saw it, I was going to be like, oh, it's steampunk. Not going to like it. I'm just going to, whatever it is, whatever. But then I saw the trailer for it. The graphics are phenomenal. It's got like time lapse kind of mechanics, which seems like a lot of fun. It just looks really cool. It looks like they really put a lot of thought into this. And, let's just be honest here. I like the way they did the the trailer with the character screen, like the knob, like when he popped up on screen, because that just it gave me a mix of feelings here. It reminded me of the way Borderlands introduces their characters a little bit. And then it also reminded me of Fable characters. Like the knob seems like kind of like a character you find in Fable.
I could see that. Yeah.
So how do you feel about Clockwork Revolution?
Oh, I'm really hyped for that. I really hadn't been paying that much attention to it, but I was watching that and it's kind of cool. I do like the way they had the characters, and again, the time travel thing, or the time dilation thing, if you want to call it that, actually. And and I flash back to my Doctor Who geekdom and timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly type of thing. So that's going to be interesting, depending on how that works out and how it feeds into the story. And it just, what they showed really looked good. So
yeah, it looks phenomenal.
So that's going to be a day one for me, definitely.
Are you, if they offer early access, which I'm sure they will, are you going to get early access for that?
Probably, yeah.
I hope that it's has a good length to it, that it's decent in length, because I don't want it to be an 8-hour game and then done. I want it to kind of be like a 40-hour game. I want something to sink time into. And I know that's controversial lately. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, why do you like long games to play? We want to get games done in 8 to 10 hours. Well, you see, some people, you may have a big life outside of gaming and you just want to go to the bowling alley or play darts at the local pub around the corner. But me, I'd rather stay at home playing video games, to be honest with you. Like, I find that more fun than going out.
When he's not hobnobbing with the celebrities on the red carpet. Okay, let's just get that on.
Oh, wait a minute. No. That's not me. He's like, I got a doppelganger out there.
You never hob or knob, do you? No.
No, I see what you did there with the knob. Yeah, I see what you did. Man, if I was that guy, though, I'd donate all that money to everybody. No, but
I'm hoping story-driven games like that. I hope the story is well done and that it's not done in 15 hours or 8 hours. Those kind of stories, I like them when they're longer and they really flesh it out. Don't stretch it out too long. Don't like fill it up with silly fetch questions and crap like that.
Yes, we want.
Or my favorite complaint is one guy will tell you, I need to get this thing from so-and-so. So-and-so is 3 feet away, and it makes you wander back and forth instead of just yelling across the room, hey, Bob, you got that package I've been waiting for? Okay, throw it this way. No. They got to make you walk across the room 4 times. Those drive me crazy.
Or one of those fetch quests where, hey, can you deliver my package? Okay, so you go deliver the package. Oh, that was the wrong package. Sorry.
Yeah.
But before you can deliver the right package, I need you to find tape, a ribbon, a name tag, and then you have to go around all these places just for one little quest for XP. So let's hope that kind of stuff's not in there. Hope it's like really fleshed out, good storyline quest, which I think it will be.
Yeah. It looked like it from what we saw.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it from what we saw.
Though I can see at least one. Hey, I need this to make this machine work. I'm going to need A, B, C, and D. So they're going to make you wander around and probably collect that crap. So,
yeah,
I can see.
And some I'm going to go ahead and just get it out of the way because we kind of saw it at the end of the showcase, and it's not like a big talking point. A lot of us kind of figured they would stick with the Black Ops series right now because the last one's been kind of popular. And a lot of people were confused at the trailer. They weren't sure if they were looking at, like, I don't know, some dystopian robotic future, or if they were actually watching a Call of Duty game. Now, at first, I thought, okay, maybe this could be like Detroit Become Human, like something like that. But then I started to realize when they talked about weapons and the tanks, okay, this is definitely got to be Call of Duty. However, the campaign looks like it has a great story because it looks like that you're living in a world of illusion, and outside this illusion, there's all this chaos and destruction and rebuilding, kind of like you're in the Matrix, at the start of the game, and then you come out of the Matrix. So what do you think about that, Paul? You think that you're going to like this story? Are you into it? You into the robotic future?
Well, Yeah, I'm definitely into that part. And for me, Call of Duty is all about the campaign because I do play. Well, I have previously played the multiplayer with friends and stuff, but even then, they still play. I don't play. Anytime we're in a party together and they're playing that game, I'm doing something else. I actually fully uninstalled it just last week because I hadn't played it literally in months. So, I mean, for me, Call of Duty is about the single player campaign. So I'm always hoping those are again longer than 5 hours. You know, and well put together like the last one was. Sorry, I'm getting that my acid reflux is now kicking my butt. So apologize for the hiccups and stuff. But yeah, so for that, and it looked interesting. So I want to see more. I really do. Because I did see, because I was in the chat for on the Xbox channel, and I saw, oh man, not this. I want more Call of Duty. Yeah, we're gonna get a new Call of Duty like every other year, so just deal with it. That's the way it works. It's not gonna change, So
No, it's true. It's
so I
true.
mean,
It's a pretty big franchise, and I think
yeah,
until the engine's at a point where it is like years ahead of the graphics cards, and
yeah,
they just constantly add DLC. I think we're going to constantly get a new Call of Duty, and I'm okay with that. Like, I don't mind it. I think it's something to play, and if you have a Game Pass,
yep,
it goes in day one. So, I mean, for what you get in Game Pass, it's definitely worth it. You get to play these games for Ultimate is what, like 19 something dollars a month.
yeah. 19.95 a month, or if you're like me, you're stacked for like till the end of eternity. Uh, yeah, I just looked today. As a matter of fact, I'm stacked to February of 2028 at this point. So,
That's nice. You're in a good position. You're inflation proof right now
yeah,
in
right now
gaming.
I'm cost rising proof. Yeah, if the cost is going up, I'm like I didn't notice. It's like
Paul's sitting over
nothing.
there in his ivory tower, just looking
Yeah,
down at us weeble gamers, being like, ha, I'm advanced for the future. I'm protected.
right. No, I've just been lucky in a lot of ways. I mean, well, yes, the pro because I am a Microsoft community champion, not an Xbox community champion, because that program, uh, that we do get access to codes every once in a while and stuff through because we help out within the program. So, hey, what can I say? And to be fair, I do give some of those out as well. So for those of you who are like share, I do sometimes. Just with people I like, and I don't like anybody here. No, I'm kidding.
Wow, Paul.
Wow.
Just you're just killing it out there with your friendships.
Yeah, you
Uh
like that? Yeah. No, but I think, we saw a lot of games that and almost all of them are coming to Game Pass. All of them are gonna be Play Anywhere, which is a big deal because they introduced, the Rogue Ally or the ROG Ally, Xbox Ally X, whatever you wanna call that. And that means that those games that are Play Anywhere, you're gonna be able to play them on your PC, on your ROG Ally X, or on your console. Perfect, you know? So, I like the slate of what we saw, and I like, and even some of the games that because it's Game Pass again, another Game Pass commercial, I use it for accessibility purposes. Games that I look at and I go, "Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to play that," and there were quite a few of those, but at least if they're on Game Pass, I can try them. Like I will probably not play Super Meat Boy 3D. I'm just throwing that out there. Uh, but I may load it up and try it and go, yeah, this is why I don't play this kind of game. But it doesn't cost me anything. So there you go.
so there was a surprise in this. I mean, okay, so I'll say surprise in one aspect, and the other aspect people knew was coming. People knew Gears of War Reloaded was coming. I mean, that part's not a surprise. But what was the surprise is if you had the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, you got a code on Xbox for Gears of War Reloaded. Now, I haven't received my code out there, Xbox. If you are watching this, you can send me my code. Thank you for me owning Gears of War Ultimate Edition. But no, but I think that's a really cool thing that they're
Yep.
doing for the fans of the series. It seems to be, it builds a loyalty with the fan base, and despite the direction that some people feel that Xbox has taken, I think that they're still consumer first, consumer friendly. And yes, I mean, like any business, they're here to make a profit. And we're not going to talk about profit because we're not armchair analysts. We're not in the board meetings and none of that. However, what I will say is that it's good consumer service when you can offer value for the money. And that is what Xbox is doing right now with
Yep.
Game
And
Pass.
when they give upgrades like that and they say, if you've already bought the game, here's the upgrade. There's no $10 upcharge. There's no whatever. It's like, here, we did it. Here's your upgrade. Thank you. So hey,
No,
that's a nice
exactly.
thing. And not all the companies that we deal with in gaming do that. Xbox does it more than the others, actually. So hey, why not?
Yes. So are you looking to Gears of War Reloaded? You looking forward to playing that?
Yes, and I will probably even try to. I will more because when the Gears of War stuff first came out, I just did it solo because I didn't have a big online presence at that time. Now I probably will try to find people to run it with just for fun. Um, in fact, the multiplayer beta is this weekend, starts tomorrow, so might jump in there for a little bit.
Oh, nice. Did you ever
Yep.
get your code?
No, I haven't got the code for the new thing. No, but I'm not too worried about it because it will be on Game Pass. So even if I don't get the new code, I'll be like, okay, no sweat. So
That's a good point right there. I mean, for people
Yeah.
that have Game Pass, they don't. I mean, I hope
Right.
you all get your codes, but at the end of the day, you still get to play it in Game Pass
Yep.
as long as you have an active subscription.
Yep.
Now, Obsidian's out here and they dropped a hit for their fans. Now, I'm not a super big fan of this franchise and what they're doing with it. However, I am not the majority. The majority says this game is good, this game is a lot of fun, and if it resonates with other gamers in the Xbox community and PlayStation community, the Switch community, that's all that really matters. Grounded 2, that came out pretty quick. It just I did not expect it to be this ready, and I heard it's coming out in July of this year. So, Paul, talk to me. How do you feel about Grounded 2? Are you a Grounded fan? You like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Like you. I think Grounded is a beautiful game. I played a little bit with friends. It's not one you can solo, that's for sure. And I've seen some pretty widely built backyards from the original Grounded. Takes a lot of work and a lot of creativity to do that. To me, it's kind of like a Minecraft game, and I'm not that good in building in there either. But I mean, I do like the fact that they brought it out of the backyard and stuff, and they've added you can now ride some of the creatures around and do different. It looks really interesting, and they're doing what they did with Grounded too. I think they're gonna launch it, and it's gonna be one of those ongoing beta things, like the early release things like they did for Grounded. Remember, they ran it for like over 2 years before they made an official release. People had been playing it for forever before. Okay, now it's officially out, and they're like, "Oh, okay, it wasn't before." So it was in a pre-release state, and I believe they're doing that a little bit with this one as well, if I remember from the little part of the show we got after the main show.
Yes. So, and they talked about it after the show with the Outer Worlds 2 and stuff. Obsidian, they're killing it. They're doing great things out there.
I have to say, by the way, Obsidian, when they did the things for Outer Worlds 2 and they did the thing for Grounded, a lot of people didn't like it, but I did love the way they put that after show together, and they had the developers having fun with it. They weren't just sitting there being stale talking about it. They were showing little bits in the boardroom that were kind of funny and kind of cute. They got creative even with that part. So I was enjoying what they did there. It wasn't a stale just them talking about the game type of thing. So, which everybody complains about. So I mean, no matter how they did it, people were going to complain one or the other. But I thought this was way more fun. You know. So
Then next we got something from Double Fine that popped up. Now, Double Fine, I liked Psychonauts 2. They did a great job with that game. And Double Fine has some unique gems. They do some very off the world kind of stuff. Keeper is with the lighthouse with like crab legs. Now I don't.
Yeah.
What's up, Cozy? Welcome to the show. Paul and I are trying to hold it down. I hope you've had a great day so far. We're talking about Keeper right now, and Keeper looks kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know if it's for me, but the detail and the style of the art, I like the art style of that game. I really love the art style. So it's phenomenal. And I may try it out just because of the art style.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. It doesn't look like a game that would normally draw me in, but again, Game Pass, no risk, no hassle. You know, if I load it, I try it, and if I like it, I play it. If I don't, I uninstall it and go find something else to play. You know, so. But yeah, it looks really interesting. I did, you know, and the lighthouse on walking around and stuff, and the way those animations were done just looked kind of cool, actually. You know.
And Cozy was saying Grounded. She's like, I don't care. Grounded 2! Exclamation point. And you know what? Cozy, I gotta agree with you. I think they're doing a great job for the fans. I was not good at Grounded 1. Like, I was not good at building and finding my way around the backyard. I got lost a lot and attacked by ants and all sorts of creatures that gave me nightmares. But I think if you're running with the right crew, with the right friends, and you guys are enjoying the game, that's all that matters. It's party games are a lot of fun, and you just got to find your crew. And if you find your crew,
if you have friends, if you don't have friends like me, then yeah, stick to single player. No,
Paul, you always got Taco Bell, Paul.
That's true. Yeah.
So, Ninja Gaiden 4 emerges from the shadows. Comes out October 21st. Mr. Glass, am I an Xbox? I just want to know for my tax returns. You know, that's a good question. Do you have an LED backpack that you could probably put Doom on and play it? Or Quake? Because if you do, I mean, you could be an Xbox. You know, you might be able to write that off in the future. I don't know. Depends on your company. But Ninja Gaiden 4, again, great for the fans of the series, right? Like, fans are going to love that game. Phenomenal. I like the original arcade game. Took me forever to beat it. And that's all I remember is the original arcade game. I never liked the home ports of the game. I don't know what it is, but I never gone back to try and play the original Ninja Gaiden in the arcade either. Paul, are you going to be playing Ninja Gaiden 4?
Again, Game Pass, I'll check it out. And because usually it's not a game that's not a game style I get into a whole lot of. So I mean, again, every game on here I will at least check out, even if for 2 minutes and go, yeah, no, you know, but Ninja Gaiden not on my list. There are a bunch of other ones that you haven't mentioned yet that are on my list to try out and play or to definitely play. But that's not one of them that struck me like, oh God, I got to try this out, you know. But yeah, Ninja Gaiden definitely has its audience, and it's a big audience. So cool for them.
Does. All right, so Paul, maybe this is one you're going to check out. And I'm probably not going to play it, but you might play it. Maybe you're a fan of this, Paul. You know, it's like surfing, but with wheels. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Nope. I am bad at those games. I am lousy at those skater games.
Oh, Paul.
Never been good at them. Never, ever.
Okay, fair. I know that there's a lot of Tony Hawk fans out there.
Now if they'd added accessibility, like, you know, automatically land a trick, then absolutely. But, you know,
press one button, you do like double flips and land perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, I honestly will say, I've always tried at least the other games and stuff, and some of them are fun. I will probably try again at some point. You know, so.
Okay. All right. Well, Tony Hawk's is, I mean, I liked playing it every now and then. I was never like this super big fan into or sunk hours into the game. Will I check it out? Probably. Am I going to spend more than 8 hours in it? Probably not. However, I can't wait to do some cool moves and make some shorts out of them. I think that's going to be fun.
Look, he landed on his face again and he slid down the ramp. Okay, yeah, that a lot of that is going to be happening. Yeah.
Yes, that will be me. Yes, I'm gonna own that right now. It's like me.
Gonna be
Really,
the crash and burn sizzle reel is what that's gonna be. Yeah.
yep, it's me right there. So next we get to, and correct me if I say it wrong, Paul. Nemo.
Where is it on the list here?
ANIIMO.
Actually, I don't know how to be sure about that one.
All right, so for the internet purposes, I am correct in the moment until somebody corrects me.
Yeah.
But this game, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Nintendo's going to go after it. Looks like a Pokemon clone." Listen, you're not throwing eggs around or Pokeballs around. It's like a hammer. You're smashing into the creatures, then you play as the creatures. I think it's a little bit different. I think the creatures look a lot different too. They're not trying to be cloned of Pokemon. So I don't want to hear that nonsense because I want this game to do well. It looks like a fun game. It's reinventing the wheel for a different style in that genre. And I'm happy for it. It also looks a little bit more violent than Pokemon too. I mean, you're smashing things with a hammer. That's definitely not Pokemon style.
With guns. Okay, yeah.
Oh wow, Paul, you had to go there, didn't you? So, are you gonna play this game?
It wouldn't be my first go-to, but you never know. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I did a little bit of that the Pokemon clone that's getting that I can never remember the name of, the one they did last year. Yeah, that's the one. Got into it for a while, but after a while it got old real quick, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. So,
well, then we get into Alpha Leon, whatever, one of the two, Alpha Leon, Alpha Lion, APHELION. So I wasn't interested in this. Not to take away from the fans of sci-fi that like this kind of game. It did give me some vibes of like, what was it, Dead Space and all those other kind of games. But I don't know. I don't know if it's really going to turn out like that. Now, if it turns out like that, I might change my mind after playing it. But until I see that happening, it might not be for me.
If it's scary, he won't play it. He doesn't do scary. He's too scared. He's a chicken. You got quiet, but you know I'm right. You got quiet, but you know I'm right. If it's scary, you won't play it.
Cozy agrees with me. Don't do horror. That's right. We don't do horror. Paul does horror though.
Yep.
So you gonna play that game, Paul?
Oh yeah. I'll be there. I'll be checking that out. Yep.
All right.
I think it's a Aphelion, if I remember correct. So
you're probably right, and I'm probably wrong. I'll give you the credit, Paul.
Yeah.
Then we have At Fate's End from the Spiritfarer team.
Yeah, that's not a game. That's not the style that I play. I will just throw that right out there. That's
it looks cool, Paul. Are you gonna give it a chance? You're gonna give it a chance?
Like I said, I will give all these games a chance. And
listen, you gave Mustard on Pizza a chance.
Yep.
So you got to give this game a chance.
Yep.
You got silent there. Did Mustard on Pizza hurt you in any way, shape, or form?
No. Let's see. Yeah, there's a few, but yeah, like I've said, I will check out most of these games. There are some that I know right off the top of my head though that I will not probably play. And it's not a negative on the game. Not every game is for everybody, but that's a choice that I make, not a choice that the game makes for me because of lack of accessibility. Those are the ones that make me mad. Or when people tell me, well, if you can't play it, it's because not every game is for everybody. No. If I can't play it, it should be because I don't want to, not because I can't. Yeah. So
true.
There's the difference. Yeah.
Well, so we're getting into Game Freak's new game, which I'm surprised that Game Freak is actually making a game on this magnitude, Beast of Reincarnation.
That looked weird.
It's definitely more. It seems more like a Japanese style kind of game.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm going to get in deeply involved with. I might play it for some achievements and then turn it off. But you never know. The story might hook you. It's not my
Um,
style of game right off the bat. Definitely not my style.
it looked like a fever dream to me. It was like, I don't know about that. It just looked
Wow.
weird. It just
Fever dream. What does that mean, Paul? Fever dream.
it just means it's weird. It's out there. It just makes no sense type of, it,
Cozy said that Game Freak made the best solitaire game ever.
the best the
I've
best solitaire game. Yeah.
I've never seen their solitaire game. Now I'm gonna look it up out of curiosity. I hope it's mobile. Now this game looks pretty cool. I think it looks good. I don't know if it's gonna play as good as it looks, but the Blood of Dawnwalker.
Oh, I'm all over that. I can see myself disappearing into that game real quick.
Yes, I can see myself getting hooked in it. Yo, if there's one thing I had a critique about this game, I didn't like the way the character's face looked. I didn't look at I didn't think it looked detailed enough. Am I
Well,
alone in that?
maybe the vampire had a facelift. I don't know.
Wow. But other than that, I think the story looks cool. It looks great. Vampire is trying to kind of put humanity into a box of doing everything for them. So interesting.
Well, and from what I could tell, it's supposed to be, yeah, they're the ones we thought were our enemies. The vampires actually trying to save us from being enslaved or something like that. From what I gathered from the thing, so that's why you're a vampire. Basically, it sounds like a twist on Blade in a way, kind of, sort of. I think it's one of the kind of feel I got from it, but it looks really interesting. I cannot wait to check into it. It's hopefully the story and it plays where I can play it as well. You know, though my first thought, to be honest, my first thought was, oh my god, another vampire game. Can we do anything but vampires and zombies for like a week? But
We
yeah.
we do need two games, Paul. Like I do agree with you. We need something new in that genre, like a Order 1886 tried, but like a werewolf game, and then
Right.
maybe we need like an alligator human game where you're
Speaking of
walking
speaking of
alligator.
which, speaking of which, where is my Wolf Among Us 2? We know that's coming. Where I want information. Okay.
Yes. I like the old Telltale style games, and
Yep.
I really want to see Wolf Among Us 2 as well. I
Oh, we
did want
still
to see
got that. And we know, speaking of which, we know that the new game from the the company that massive super massive games is coming out too. I am
Yes, I
so
like
damn
them.
hyped for that. I am so damn hyped for
Yes,
that.
I still like the Quarry.
Oh yeah, look, and the Quarry just had their anniversary the other day. So yeah.
Nice. Well, Chronos, the new Dawn, new survival horror from the Bloober team. Bloober does do some pretty cool stuff. I'm not sure. Again, this game's probably not for me. Paul, you gonna dive into this?
I will. And the thing with Bloober is that there is no middle ground for them. They're either really good or really bad. It's like,
Wow.
well, I'm being honest. I mean, they've had some real clunkers over but they've also had some really good games too. Um,
Shots
but yeah,
fired there.
but I am looking forward to this one. This one looked good. So yeah,
So then we have Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade. I know a lot of people have been asking for this. I mean, there's a lot of Final
yep.
Fantasy fans out there. I am not one of them. So I'm sorry, but I'm glad it has finally come for you guys. You guys have got your Christmas with Final Fantasy. It's here.
Yeah.
And I hope
And the other one is coming in the fall. So because we had one drop yesterday the other day, and then we have one coming in the fall. So that means that, hey, here's the thing: all the mainline Final Fantasy games can only be played on Xbox. I don't know if
yes.
I saw them announce that all the mainline ones can only be played on Xbox. They're not all available on on PlayStation, and I don't believe they're all available on PC even. But they are all available, the mainline ones, on Xbox. So hey,
I mean, that's cool for Final Fantasy fans. Cozy's
yep,
like in the same boat as me. She did like something like 6 9 Crisis Core. Cozy, wow. She just said now they could be disappointed in sales a third time.
yeah. Yeah.
You're probably right. You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. Can't dispute that. Now, this is a game I think everybody on Xbox is excited to play. Everybody who has Game Pass is excited to play it. And people on other systems will probably get it as well. Because coming from the rides of Rick and Morty, we got High on Life 2. And the first one was just a lot of fun. The intro to the game trailer was them talking about, what was it? The Humanify or something? Some type of
Yeah.
prescription? Like,
Yep.
it's crazy stuff, man. This
Yep.
is crazy. So I just love the kind of humor. It's so far out there, and
Yep.
it gives us a break from all the current stuff that we have. Like there's nothing else like this except Borderlands 2, but no other Borderlands have matched up to that yet.
No, and I think in some ways, the High on Life is even takes a little bit beyond that as well. And I know there is some drama behind this studio and this title, but that drama has been out of the studio for a while, or because he got removed. Um, so, and because I know some people saying they won't touch the game because of his involvement. He was not involved in this game in any way, shape, or form. So, so I will be checking it out day one because I really enjoyed the first one. In fact, to the point to where the team over there kind of know who I am too. So that's how much I got. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that because I like that twisted humor. And some of that parts of that game were not easy, but I think I want. Did I ever do? I don't know if I ever did the DLC. Don't think I did. I have to go back and do that. So
And then we got Invincible Versus. I will say
eh,
I'm not the biggest fighting game fan, since Super Street Fighter 2. I mean, that was the last one I really, really enjoyed. But Invincible Versus has some characters in there that I like. And I've gotten to meet Ryan Otley at Tampa Bay Comic-Con last year. And I got to cover his panel. And I will tell you, the dude is a really cool, down-to-earth guy. He's like Paul. Sometimes he just says things without a filter, doesn't think about it. But when it comes to his creativity, it's unmatched. Like, he was talking about how people said, oh, you can't make it that violent. It's not going to do well. And then he's like, you know what? I'm just going to do it anyway. I don't care what you guys think. I got nothing to lose. And
it's like have you not watched Invincibles? Like, jeez.
and it's a phenomenal franchise. So I'm going to check out the game just because I'm a comic book fan. Paul, how about you? You going to be out there?
3-on-3 fighters is not usually my thing, but I may check it out. Just because I like the Invincibles thing. I like the show. And I just like, so we'll see. And if it's at all story driven, I definitely will check it out. But if it's just fight after fight after fight, like a lot of fighters, then I will probably check it out and go, okay, that's cool, and then put it down.
Okay.
So
You'll give it a chance. You'll play it.
yep.
I didn't know what to think about this game. I was a little confused. In some sense, like it made me think of like a cyberpunk Splinter Cell, Mudang, Two Hearts.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm about in the same boat.
I'm just really confused on it. Not saying that I won't play it. I'm gonna try it, but I'm confused. I am confused if I'm gonna like it or not. Graphically, it looks good. I'm just confused where the story's gonna go.
I gotta say, Cyberpunk Splinter Cell has my interest, though. I mean, to say, love both those games. So
There you go. Okay. So you may try it out.
Yep.
Oh, Cozy, you're probably a fan of this one. The Midnight Channel returns. Persona 4 Revival has been announced. Yes. I'm all out Persona 4, man. I played that thing on the Vita and I loved it. I wasn't good at it on the Vita, but I loved the game.
You catch that, PS fanboys? He was the guy who owned a Vita. He was the Vita guy. Okay, that the only one that sold, but he had it. So
it didn't play Borderlands 2 that well, but I was able to play Sea of Thieves on it.
There you go.
So I'm excited for this. I love Atlas. Atlas is, wow. You know what? Atlas to me is what Square Enix is to a lot of people. I think Atlas is way better than Square Enix. I'm just gonna throw it out there. No shade, no shade.
Shots fired, baby. See, you thought I was bad. That's bad. You're gonna get a lot of hate for that one.
No, but it's true. Atlas just holds their own, and they got these great games like Persona 5, Persona 3, Persona Portable. They're got good games. Paul, you gonna dive into this and live a life?
I'll check it out, but I'm not a big Persona fan.
Might get hooked on this one.
Maybe.
Because
yeah.
You know what? In this game, you get to go to work. You get to choose with dinner time. You get to go on the bus. You get to choose your dates. You know,
God, it's like The Sims. It's like, oh my God, no.
Yes.
So Cozy will like it if it's like The Sims. So yeah.
Here's a game I'm not going to play because I didn't like the first one. Planet of Lana 2.
Nope, I'm right there with you. It's a side-scrolling plot. Nope. No. Don't do that. I won't do that. Like, oh yeah, it looks nice. Thank you. Next.
That's right, Cozy. Us Persona fans, we got to stick together. Us Atlas fans, we got to stick together. And we got to get Paul on our side. And how about that new Plague Legacy tale? The Resonance?
That looked interesting. That looked interesting because it's Resonance, a Plague Tale Legacy. In other words, it's not a direct story. You're not going to, it doesn't look like you're going to be dealing with swarms of rats anymore. So, but it looked interesting. And I do like Plague Tale. I like that universe. So I will be checking that out for sure. But if they're not going to have the eerie sounding rats and the swarms and stuff, I wonder what we're going to be doing this time. Because it did look really cool.
Yes, it gave us some vibes with the Roman Empire. Kind of like, so I'm curious where the story's going to go. It looks like it's going to have a good story. And that's coming from a guy who didn't like the previous ones. I didn't like the previous ones, Paul.
Did you even try to play them? Probably not.
I did. It had lots of rats in it.
Yep. And if you had and remember that game was cool because they told you straight up, if you got headphones, use headphones and, set it up that way. Because, those sounds the audio quality on that game was just fire.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for some of the same here. Yeah. Go ahead.
Solo Leveling. Blooper. Solo Leveling. Arise Overdrive.
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out. Solo Leveling is a pretty popular anime series, so I'm going to check it out. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I'm going to check it out.
I've never heard of it, so I wouldn't know what I was getting into. So
great. So that means Paul's going to check it out. All right, Paul, moving on. Here's one game I know that you're probably going to get so frustrated with, you might not even play. Super Meat Boy 3D.
Yeah, I already mentioned that. I can guarantee you that I will not be able to play that game. From what I've seen, that's going to be that Paul can't play that. So
I think it looks cool, the 3D aspect that they did for it, but I didn't like the originals. I just found them a little bit difficult for me, and that's the fun of those games, and I'm not with that kind of fun, so not for me. Cozy says she is not into anime. I'm surprised because you like the Persona game, so I'm a little surprised. I could see that, though. There are no ghosts at the Grand.
There aren't?
No.
Wow.
It makes me think the whole story is about ghosts.
I don't remember that one, but I'll have to.
It was the one where they sang a lot.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one with the Scottish weapon or whatever?
I don't remember.
There was one with singing and dancing, and one of the characters had a very Scottish accent. I don't know, remember if it was that one, but yeah, that might have been that one, and it looked interesting. I might have been busy modding at the time because there were times I was distracted because I was dealing with idiots in the chat. So,
Well, this is. You have 30 days and 30 nights to restore the Crumlin Hotel and explore the surrounding seaside village for eerie supernatural secrets.
ooh.
It is a cozy, spooky musical mystery.
Oh, wait, I did. Yeah, that one had a little bit of the mystery solving thing going on. I love games like that, so I will be checking that out.
Okay. I'm not a fan of the musical aspect of it, but the aesthetics of the graphics.
Oh, admit it, you'll be singing the songs. You know you're gonna be. You know.
Heck no. No, not I mean. I will not be singing any songs. I'll be singing my way to sleep. Graphically, though, it looks great. I'm not going to put it down there. I just wish it wasn't a musical, but hey, it might not be for me.
No, but any of the games that showed they had a mystery puzzle solving aspect, those I get into when you have to like solve the puzzle type of thing. Yeah. I love those.
So then we get hit with some DLC coming, fall of 2025. Age of Mythology Retold, the Heavenly Spear brings the Japanese pantheon.
That's going to be cool. I like Age of Mythology. I need to play it more, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
And they're introducing more new gods, which is awesome. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I think when they continue to make DLC for stuff, it's cool. So
yep.
Happy for the people out there that like it. I liked Age of Mythology Retold, but I did lose after like playing the third level, fourth level or something. So I think I kind of gave up. I got to go back to it. Elder Scrolls Online. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we should play multiplayer, and I could kick your butt all over the playing field there. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh no. The Elder Scrolls returns with some updates. The Worm Cult. I haven't played Elder Scrolls Online in a little bit. I do like it. I have a character that's like a werewolf and a character that's a vampire. And I remember when they first launched the werewolf and the vampire stuff, I sat for days in game underneath like the moon to become a werewolf. And I remember somebody was like, "Oh, I'll turn you into a werewolf if you give me 10,000 gold." And
yeah.
I told everybody that I was with in the party chat, I'm like, "Oh, this dude ain't doing it." But I had like lots of gold, so I was like, "Okay." And he did rip me off, and then he sent me a message saying, "Ha ha 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 ha, I'm a werewolf. You're not." That was the message I got from him. I was like, "Okay."
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, "That's good. I'm happy for you."
Yeah.
Fallout 76 now shows off fishing.
I did the quest. It's actually kind of cool. So yeah.
It's a quest line and then it's over.
Well, it starts as a quest line. Before you can fish it, you got to do the quest. You got to where they introduce you to how it works and all that stuff. It takes like 20 minutes, and then you can run around the different spots and do fishing. And then you can get you can upgrade your rod and your bait and stuff and catch bigger, badder fish. And they have daily quests and stuff for catching fish and all that. I've in like any game I play where there's fishing, I'll spend a lot of time fishing. Be it Red Dead Redemption 2. I love fishing in Red Dead Redemption 2. Of course, Sea of Thieves. A lot of times I like to log in just to go fishing. So yeah. So I mean, if you're already playing Fallout, it's not a big deal to go do it, and it's quick and easy and just kind of chill. The only bad part is you have to do it outside of your armor, and you can get attacked by stuff while you're trying to fish. So and just be ready for that. So
I'm excited about this that they already got DLC coming out for it September 4th. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the Order of Giants.
That looked really cool.
It does. I love how this game dives into Catholicism and talks about like the giants and all that kind of stuff. So I'm into this one. I am going to play it. There's some achievements on the game I still got to get that I'm disappointed I can't figure out. I get lost by the pyramids a lot. But other than that, yeah, I'm excited for this game. I'm excited for the DLC.
Yep. And they did mention the giants even in the initial game. So you didn't know they were coming, but it felt like they're coming out of nowhere because it was discussed during part of the solving the story as you were going through the initial game was the giant stuff. I think one of the missions actually did involve going into one of their areas, if I recall correctly.
That's what I like about it. Is you're right. Like they're not just throwing you into a new story. It's like this kind of ventures off from the actual story in the game of like the giants, because you had the encounter with the giant when you were looking for artifacts, and then you ended up becoming sort of like
Yep.
friends with him in a sense, like kind of like in a
Yep.
respectable level. So I'm happy to see this, man. Happy to see that. And then Sea of Thieves is still going strong, season 17. Smuggler's Tide. Anything you want to say about that, Paul? Like, you excited for it?
I do like Sea of Thieves, but you gotta have the one. I can't seem to find a bunch of people that are willing to go in and just play it every once in a while, because I every once in a while I will go in there solo, get on a sloop and do my thing, but I don't like just I kind of when I get into that game I want to be left alone if I'm not with a crew. It's like don't hassle me. Let me go do my fishing or whatever, and let me do my thing and stop sinking my ship every 5 minutes just because you know where I'm at. It's like yeah, I hate getting griefed in Sea of Thieves. It's like sometimes I just want to be left alone. It's like what's my biggest thing. So
And then, last but not least, we have Paul's favorite topic. His favorite topic of all. Cozy, I agree with you. I like sailing in the game, and I like crashing into ships just out of nowhere. Even if I'm going to die, when I play solo, I like to be a little bit of a troublemaker, in a sense.
uh-huh.
A little bit, Paul. Not too serious. Sometimes I take the gunpowder barrels, and I put them on the bottom decks of the ships as people are on the island and blow their ships up. Not all the just sometimes I'm having a little fun. They sail away.
No, no. I can. What I do with that, and I'm done. Is you put a gunpowder barrel next to the stove, and then you put something on the stove and you let it burn. The fire starts and it ignites the barrel. So it's like a time bomb, and then it blows
Oh,
up. Say.
okay. Okay, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
In fact, I may have to log in that game just to cause some mischief again. And, and then we got the Xbox allyx. Paul, this has hit you pretty hard lately. A lot of people are talking about the Xbox internal one that's being sidelined or put on the side or being canceled, whatever it is at this point in time. And we got the ROG allyx coming with impulse triggers. It's got better form for Xbox gamers or gamers in general. And it's kind of like the other ROGs in the sense that you can download games natively in other stores. But it's going to have the Z2 Extreme chipset, so slightly upgraded. I'm excited for it.
Slightly upgraded. The software is going to be a very pared down version of Windows, specifically for gaming. It will play all Xbox or Microsoft PC games natively. It will do the Xbox Anywhere games, and every game we saw on that show is Xbox Anywhere. Um, and the confusion seems to be, well, it's not going to play console games natively. No, but it is going to give you access to the cloud just like we do currently. So that part's going to stay the same. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how well I would do with a handheld. I'm gonna find out because thanks to Wise Old Gamer, he sent me his Steam Deck, so I'll have that tomorrow actually. So I'll get my first hands on to any hand because I haven't done any handheld since like a Game Boy Advanced. Okay, so
Oh, wow.
well because to me the between the controls and the screens being small, I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to do. But I am hoping that even with the ROG Ally X, that before I would buy one, that I would be able to get my hands on one and see if it's something that I can viably do. That way, I'm not wasting a bunch of money for something that I'm not going to be able to enjoy. So,
Okay.
so what do
Well,
you think? Or you think you're going to be picking one of these up at some point, or?
it's going to take me a little bit to save up for it. I'm going to be honest with you, but I am excited for it. I really do want to get it. I'm not sure if I have anything left I could trade in towards it, but if I could, I probably would Honest with you, I would trade all my 360 games up for it. I
Well, and
just
your other option too, especially if it's available via like Amazon doing the Affirm thing where you do the monthly payment thing. See, yeah, there's always options.
that's true. As long as it's affordable enough. Like I don't like
Right.
I don't like those affirms
I'm
when
not paying $1,000 for it. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I don't like spending, like, if I'm gonna do installments, I don't like spending more than 20 something a month on installments. So I don't know. It might be a wait and see for me, but I think it's gonna be something that it's just gonna revolutionize kind of like how you can move around and play games.
Yep.
And it is going to be geared more towards being Xbox friendly, and and they're going to get all those little kinks out, because when the Ally first came out, there was some issues with it. People were taking them back. I mean, let's not hide the details. There were some issues. So this seems like it's going to be more streamlined.
Yep.
Jason Ronald has been working
And
with
just
them.
you'll if you're online, you see people going, it's just a reskinned Rogue Ally. It is not just a reskinned Rogue Ally. Okay. The innards are going to be different. The software is going to be different. You are going to be able to play Steam games on it. You're going to be able to play Epic Store games on it. Um, and we saw that at this point anyway, and this could change, that Sony is not going to try to stop you from playing PlayStation games that are on PC on it just because it's, through the Steam store. So it actually may be a little bit of everything thing, and you're not going to have to backload stuff and kind of work your way around things to get it to work. It's just all going to be natively there and available. So that for me, that's a great selling point as well.